So, you've got a long-distance triathlon coming up and you're wondering how to improve your recovery. Well, in this video, I'm going to give you an easy-to-follow recovery framework that will help you plan your nutrition and feel significantly better immediately after the race and in the following days. I'll also share my favorite recovery option, which is simple and easy to create but will make a huge difference to you. And if you're new here, then hey, my name's James and I'm a registered sport and exercise nutritionist. I work with amateur and pro triathletes to help them train and race better, improve their recovery, and do all of this in a healthy fashion. I'm working with a client at the moment where we're really emphasizing their recovery nutrition as they're building up their miles to their biggest race of the year. It's made a huge impact on their ability to go again, ready for the next session, because their muscles are taking a constant battering, and we're using nutrition to keep them feeling strong and like they have lots of energy. The exact same approach works after racing too, so let's go through the framework that I actually use with my clients to help them recover after their races. Imagine your body as a campfire that's been burning brightly throughout your long-distance triathlon, however long that's taken you. By the time you cross the finish line, this fire has dwindled to just glowing embers. Actually, let's be honest, this metaphorical fire has almost completely burned out and it's feeling a little bit worse for wear. But to keep that fire alive and get it blazing again, you need to add the right fuel. Quick burning kindling in the form of nutrients. Just as the fire needs kindling to reignite and restore it, your body needs the right kind of fuel immediately after a race. The first part of our recovery framework is Refuel. When you do a long-distance triathlon, your body's glycogen stores, which are its carbohydrate reserves, are heavily depleted. Refilling these glycogen stores as soon as possible is crucial. And the best time to start doing this is immediately after the race. So having your post-race meal or snack prepared in advance is the best option. Much like carb loading before a race, your body will digest and absorb simple carbohydrates more efficiently than complex ones after a race. So this means opting for sports drinks, fruit, or sweets, and avoiding whole grain carbohydrates. The optimal amount of carbohydrates after racing is 1 to 1.2 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram of body weight in that immediate post-race meal. It's worth saying that at this point after the race, you might have some sweet fatigue, so trying to dial down the sweetness might help. Generally, liquids are well tolerated, and if you use a carbohydrate like maltodextrin and add a good amount of salt, as we'll talk about later in this video, you can help to reduce that sweet factor. Carbohydrates play a crucial role in recovery, but there's another key nutrient that helps repair your muscles after the pounding that they've taken. This brings us to the second part of our framework, repair. After a big day out racing, you need to consume protein, which provides the building blocks for recovery. Protein is an essential part of recovery nutrition, and it's not just for bodybuilders looking to build muscle, but it's for long-distance triathletes wanting to recover, feel good the next day, and actually enjoy the celebrations. I recommend consuming at least 25 grams of protein, up to about 40 grams of protein immediately after your race. This range will set you up for optimal recovery. Think realistically about what you're likely to want to eat post-race. Whether it's a protein shake, some yogurt, or another source of protein, the key is to consume something that you can enjoy and tolerate after so much effort. Lots of solid food generally isn't that practical. I'm encouraging my clients to have this recovery nutrition as soon as possible, so we're talking within the first 30 minutes or so of finishing the race, and most triathletes aren't going to want to eat some chicken at that point. I mean, if it works for you, then fair enough, but just consider what is realistic here. During a long-distance tri, you are going to sweat, and probably a heck of a lot. And the truth is that over the Ironman distance, you can't replace as much fluid as you lose, so you are going to finish the race in a dehydrated state. The third part of our recovery framework is rehydration. You'll lose water and sodium when you sweat, so your focus post-race should be on replenishing both. After a long-distance tri, my advice is to consume at least 500 milliliters of fluid per hour for at least 4 hours. And the sodium amount should be at least 250 milligrams of sodium per 500 milliliters of fluid. You might benefit from consuming more sodium than this, depending on your sweat rate, the climate, and how long it took you. but this is a solid benchmark for most people. If you follow this, you'll set yourself up really well to rehydrate properly and you'll feel so much better. Honestly, it's kind of nuts how much of a difference this can make, so don't skimp on it. You should aim to start peeing regularly in the hours after your race, with the colour of your pee going from dark yellow or straw-coloured urine to closer to clear. And this is one sign that you're starting to rehydrate well. Now, the final part of this recovery framework is rest. So, although this isn't strictly nutrition-based, it is incredibly important. After a long-distance triathlon, your body is like an empty battery, and it's completely drained of energy. And you need to recharge, and not just with a quick nap or a light snack, but with proper rest that allows your body to fully recover. Resting is the time when you're repairing the muscle tissue damage from the race, and you're recovering from the mental strain of it. I've seen way too many triathletes try to get back to training too soon, and this can be really harmful. Instead, it's better to have some proper rest time. And while I'm not against light movement or easy training, it should be truly light. So thinking here about staying at about 50% of your maximum heart rate, so it's so easy that your breathing doesn't even change. Anything more than that is too much, in my opinion, and while this obviously depends on your fitness levels, you shouldn't be trying anything harder than that for a week or two. I think it's also worth highlighting that it's really normal to feel a bit down after racing an Ironman, and it's something I've frequently seen with my clients. You will have put in so much time and effort into training for an Ironman, and life often revolves around triathlon training during this period that once you do this epic challenge, life afterwards feels a bit strange. That's okay, and it is totally normal. But just try to remember the finish line feels and focus on all of your amazing achievements. Give your body the time to mentally and physically recover. Be proud of yourself, your commitment, and give yourself the rest that you deserve. And then you can start training properly again and consider your next one if you decide you're up for more pain and suffering. My favourite recovery setup is to prepare a recovery protein shake and have it immediately after a race. I also recommend carrying sport-specific sodium tablets or capsules with you after your race, so that if you're not going straight home and you know you're going to be out and about, it means you can still stay on top of your hydration. If you're just drinking plain water, you can have a capsule alongside it, or you can put your tablets into the water, and it just means you're going to be in a much better place by the end of the day. There are two options for recovery shakes. You could use a supplement like a protein powder mixed with maltodextrin, and then add table salt to it as well. This pretty much gives you everything that you need. Or you could make your own shake with a recipe that provides around 25 grams of protein and 1 gram of carbs per kilo of body weight. Remember that those are all the magic numbers that help with recovery. This is actually the shake that I recommend to my clients, and it has made a world of difference. So now you know how to recover properly after an Ironman, and that's fantastic. But before that, you've got to make sure that you know how to fuel it properly in the first place to race as well as possible. You can watch this video here to learn the ins and outs of long distance race nutrition and smash your next race.